I'm gonna tell you this. Make up with me how you messed up with me. If you was out here laying around with other women, blah 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 blah, the makeup needs to be as big as the mess up. I will drag your ass. I will drag you. I really have a like forgiveness thing. I'm the wrong person. Look, this is a little toxic. I'm the wrong person. I will drag your ass. It needs to be so big before I'm like it softens the blow. I'm not an easy person that forgives. And I think when I'm angry, you'll hear loud and I'll be clicking but when you hurt me, I'll completely shut down. And so the makeup is very, very, very important to me. Welcome back to Dear Tisia. Y'all, so many people have written me and said that we need more than one episode a week because it's not enough. That just makes me feel so good. So be patient with me. We're working on it. We're working on it. So we have some subscription reminders. Follow Dear Tisia podcast on Apple and Spotify. Okay, Apple and Spotify. Leave a 5-star review. Not one, not two, but five-star review. Subscribe to the Relationship Restored and Dear Tisia YouTube channel. It's actually Tisia XPS in case you're looking for it. And then our goal is 50,000 followers on Apple Podcasts, 1,000 reviews. We already have hit 500. We're pushing our way to 1,000. And then we need 1,000 subscribers. 1,000. No, we need way more than 1,000. Okay. We need 100,000 subscribers on both channels. Okay. So in our peanut gallery, we have Bree. I always like to share how I met the peanut gallery guest. And Bree and I met at a content mixer and ended up living in the same building. So we met at a content mixer, and I'll never forget. She was like, "Girl, that blazer." Like, first of all, Brie is probably like 5 inches shorter than me. But she was like, "That blazer," and it just like this big curly hair and a whole bunch of energy. And we ended up linking up afterwards. And I was going through a housing crisis. And she was like, "Please come move to my area." And I looked at a lot of places and landed in Bree's building. Anyways, that is that. But Brie, you like do a million things.
Do I?
Like and she's good at all of them. All of them. Like Brie, you're like honestly like the most resourceful, organized person that I know.
I literally said today, I was like, I'm good at everything I try except makeup. Like, I need help with makeup, but like everything else, yes. I'm like DIY queen. I figures it out. I get it done. But makeup, I can use a
You
little
need
help.
like 5 products. That's it. Do not get into the wig business. Do not get into the makeup business. It's just
It's hard out here.
a lot of rigmarole. Anyways, we have some reviews, listener reviews. Rare Gem. I rarely enjoy podcasts. As someone who's hosted her own, I deeply enjoy Dear Tisia. She does an excellent job at making you feel like you're right in the room with her, even when listening without visuals. She's down to earth and very astute in her analysis. Much, much needed. I always learn something new listening to Tisia on and off IG. Love it. Thank you, Designs by Jay. That's actually one of my biggest goals, like a key, making the girls feel like they're in the room with us.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a voicemail, and it's entitled, "Why Won't These Men Plan the Date?"
Dear Tisia, this is Flirty Friends After Losing 100 Pounds. Thank you so much for answering my call with Ray. I actually ended up cutting him off, I think like a week after I sent that call in. So before I even listened to you guys' thing, I was like, I'm not having it. Not what I need in my life at all. So thank you guys so much. But I have kind of two things that I wanted your opinion on, your perspective. So I've been getting back into the dating field. So I've been using Hinge and Facebook dating, and I've noticed this thing where I'm having great conversations. I've been very selective on the kind of men I even entertain. And I've been on several amazing dates, but there are some men where I'm having great conversations with them, and I have this rule where I want to have a date planned within a week because I'm not going to be texting you forever. But I feel like it just never happens, and I don't feel right as a woman asking a man to plan a date. Like, I just feel like that's not something that I'm comfortable with. I don't know, it just gives very much begging for me, so I never do it. I don't know if that's wrong. It doesn't feel right. Like, I don't know. That's not for me. So I honestly just let the conversation die out. So I want to know, I guess, why do men women do that. I feel like I have my own theory, but I guess I want to hear your perspective on that. And then I heard in a past episode that you were abstinent for a certain amount of time. Were you dating during that time? And do you have any advice for women who want to stay abstinent while dating?
Oh, she got a whole bunch of questions in here, number one, and I have a whole bunch of comments. The ADHD in me, I'm glad I got this cue card, okay, girl, because I'll lose my lose my train of thought quick. Okay, so first of all, we thanks for calling back. We're glad that you got off that, baby. We glad that you stopped talking to him. Thank you. Um, a few things here. Yes, I was abstinent for five going on 6 years. I did date in between there. The first thing I want to address is like, why don't men actually plan dates?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a few things that I want to add to this. First of all, I hate that women want to find the why to everything that men do. It's honestly, it's exhausting. Like, why do you think this man? What I'm telling you, like, it's gonna exhaust you. I try to pour my energy into people that actually want to be there. Once I stopped figuring out why this man didn't want to be with me, why this man ghosted me, why this man wasn't around. Like, it just really just lightened my load. And us as women, we don't have the same emotional vows that men have. So I think it's gonna be great that if you just like don't care about the why, you care about who's present or not. Also, y'all, I'm having an allergy issue. So you may see my nose running. Okay. Um, so yeah, don't focus on the why. Focus on all the present men that are planning those dates, because that's what you said. You said that you've been on some amazing dates. Full stop. Let's keep it there. Let's keep it there. You've done some great dates. We don't care about people that are invisible and non-compliant and are not showing interest. We don't care about those people. So we don't need to know the why. But what I will say is that a lot of times while dating, women will give so much of a preview that they don't want to see the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, girl, you didn't let this man run down your phone, okay? You didn't told him all your business. You didn't told him where you're from, what you like, what your mama did to you when you was younger. You didn't share so much up front that it really, you're not interesting enough for them to want to see you or hang out with you. And I hope that that lands well. But a lot of times we hang out and do too much with men that they don't actually want to plan the date. They don't actually want to get to know you more, because you just kind of overdumped, overshared. I also think that dating is exploratory
Mm-hmm.
and men get to know you. And I think I just talked about this. He got to know you and he wasn't curious enough to hang out with you. Like, it could be nothing really against you. If people have their own preferences and people have their own likes and dislikes, I think some women think that they're like, when you start dating somebody, that you're automatically a contender for them. And you have to recognize that men are going to get to know you and be like, it could be subliminal things that you don't even know that
Yep.
you're doing. And he can be like, I don't even like that. Like, I don't like that road rage you got. I don't like the way you talk to that waitress. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like the way you interacted with them kids. Like, you don't feel motherly, like whatever it could be. And so we have to accept that men are also like, this is exploratory phase and they're just really trying to get to know you. So those are my 2 cents. Sometimes they just literally don't want to get to know you. Sometimes you've given way too much of a preview up front and they're not interested in seeing the movie, when it's time to roll. And I also want to say again, like, don't focus on people that are underperforming and that are not around and not there. Like, that is just like a mind fuck that you just don't want to participate in. You got thoughts on that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, one, I'm the right person to be in the peanut gallery for this waiting
Yes.
abstinence
Yes.
situation.
Yes. Yes.
For those of you who
Thank you,
don't
girl.
know, my husband and I waited 3 years, turned into 4 thanks to COVID. And I was abstinent almost a year before that. So 5 years, similar to Tisia, with no sex, no nothing of any kind other than masturbation. I definitely masturbated because who the hell can make it through 5 years? But when I was dating, what I found to be helpful to like not really feel boggled down by the whole weight situation was I just focused on fun. Like, when you focus on having fun and just enjoying somebody's time, sex is an addition to, but it's not the thing. And like I said, masturbation, right? Like, you know how to take care of you. So if you just focus on that, a few tips though. I did at the beginning made sure that I wore either ugly underwear that I didn't want a man to see, or I just didn't shave down there because I knew
No, it
I'm like,
helps.
I'm not gonna be getting all hot and heavy and then like exposing that, right? Nobody wants to see that. That was a way to kind of hold me accountable until I was consistent with the weight, and then eventually found my husband, and that was a whole other journey. But you have to find like what things make you not be abstinent. So if someone's, kissing you and you're in a comfort of a home where you can have sex, then you need to not be in no man's crib, right? And you need to not be letting no man kiss up on you and rub on you and touch on you. So it's almost like, don't take me to the pregame if we're not going to the party, right? Like, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to get drunk or take shots if I'm not going out and enjoying my whole night. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So kind of figure out like what your things are. I think that's number one. And then I have a question, and this is for both of y'all, but mainly you because you're here right now.
Mhm.
Is it wrong to communicate the weak thing? Because my thought was like, well, maybe if he just doesn't know that you wanted a date in a week, he could just be oblivious, and maybe there wasn't enough conversation for him to even throw out the date card, or like, is that a problem to ask or tell?
A week can be tricky, and I know
Mm-hmm.
that there's like a lot of coaches online. It's like if he not doing this in a certain amount of time, I do have like just number markers that I have in my head about like, if you haven't even asked for my phone number in this amount of time or things
Yeah.
like that. I think a week can fly by if
Right.
like, I mean, even we were just talking about our week. It's like, wait a minute, how does Sunday have all these things like things? And so
Yeah.
like if you have two working people with an averagely social life, like a week can go by fast. But I think that there are always innuendos that this person is gonna try to see you, or they're
Yeah.
interested in seeing you. So I think it's like listening to those type of things as well.
Yeah.
I do think that a man trying to spend time with you is a one of the biggest green flags of
Mm-hmm.
just something materializing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that is like the biggest green flag. If he's not trying to see you, he is not trying to do anything else. Like there is no way. Men are one, they're visual,
Mm-hmm.
and they also just like they want a preview to what they're gonna get, and they're
Yep.
only gonna know that if they're spending time with you. And so if he's not trying to date you, like actually go out and spend time with you, then he probably isn't, he's just not that interested.
Yeah.
A lot of men will hold space on your phone. That is my biggest thing. Get these men off your phone. I do not allow men in my life that don't make daily deposits. And that is just that. You
Yeah.
don't get to come and drain me and dump your problems and tell me about your baby mama and what your mama did and how you hate your job and your car broke down, and then you're not putting any deposits into my life. And that is not just monetarily like, oh, it's going out on a date, but like you need to be dependable,
Mm-hmm.
reliable. I need to be able to call on you. It needs to be mutual. And I think a lot of women find it to be like adoration, and like this man is like choosing them and they're important, and that they're like that man's person because they're calling. And that is cheap communication currency,
Mm-hmm.
CCC. These men liking your stories, calling your phone all the time. And it's so tricky because the women are like, we fall asleep on the phone together. What tangible did he do? Like what are things that are tangible that this person has done? And I think that communication is great because it
Yeah.
allows for intimacy and getting to know somebody, but it can be really tricky when all he's doing is trying to call you and he's not planning a date. And that goes for you long distance people too. Like he
For
needs to be like,
sure.
hey, am I coming down there or are you coming down here? So
I also
that's
think it
that.
depends if you met someone in person or if you exchange information virtually, because a man doesn't know what he's missing until he's actually met you and experienced your aura, your energy, your vibe. So I feel like if you went and you met them out, like for me, men have always been like, so when can I see you next? Like they're like, I need more of this. But if it's a connection over line, it's a little more tricky because then they don't even know what they're missing yet. They don't know you enough to know if they even want to spend time with you. So it may take more than a week for them to weed out if you're someone that they do want to spend that physical time with, which is
Yeah, yeah.
difficult.
And just the last thing is like really a gut check on that, because you're having amazing
Mhm.
dates, but you're asking about why the other men did not plan a date.
Yeah.
And you have to get out of that mentality. I'm telling you, it will wear you out. And we all have had that guy where
Yep.
it's just like, wow, he's so consistent. He's so sweet. He does everything right. And you're not quite that attracted to him, or something off about him. And you end up being overthinking about the one that's not calling you, the one that got the swag, and he's the one that you like really are attracted to, and you're more focused on why he's not planning the dates, and you got a good man right in front of you
Yep.
that is, you just said you had amazing dates, so why we worried about
That one.
that one that's not planning it, right? Like we
Yeah.
do that all the time. And I always release that man to the general public, okay? If you got a good man that's planning all these dates and give you amazing dates, but you worried about Ray, release him to the public so that it's girls waiting. We already know that the ratio is quite off, okay? It's 11 women and one man. Release him, okay? And go, dilly dally with the one that you talking about some why he ain't planning the day, girl. We ain't got time for that. So there's that. Anywho, thanks for calling back. I'm glad you got off of him. Don't worry about Mr. Why not? Okay. Worry about
Mhm.
the ones that are in front of you. I gotta say one last thing though, is that to your point, do not for men, I know it's a big thing about when you should tell the guy that you are abstinent or that you're not
Mm.
interested in sex. That's a huge thing. I know that
Mhm.
that's a big thing. But what I will say is that how he responds to that will tell you all you need to know. Don't
Yep.
skip over it. Don't flinch. Don't How he responds to the fact that he cannot access you in the way that he wants to will tell you all you need to know. Please listen for, is he gentle? Is he kind? Is he understanding? Is he curious? Some guys just like, okay, is this until we're an item? Is this
Mhm.
until marriage? Is this until but watch his body language. If you ever get to a point where you share, like that'll tell you all that you need to know. And it's not to shame anybody that
Yeah.
it's like, I have an active sex life and I can't wait until, this long. It's not to shame that guy for that. But if you're somebody that's gonna wait and he's into you, he gonna be on what you on.
Mhm.
And I ain't saying it's gonna be easy, but he'll be on what you on. So pay attention to how he responds to
That
you.
part.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, no, for sure. Anyways, okay, we're on to the next one. The second voicemail is, he was my friend, but he hid a whole baby. He was my friend, but he hid a whole baby. Okay, let's hear
Mm.
it. Okay.
Whew.
Dear Tisia, you may remember me calling into your live a couple weeks ago. That night I was making oxtails and you said that they looked clean. But I shared that I had gotten out of a relationship with one man who had two kids, and probably the best co-parenting relationship I had ever seen, where it was a true like 50-50. But I had ended things with him for jealousy, insecurity reasons from his part, him going through my phone, trying to control who I hung out with, a lot of mind games he was starting to play with me when he would be upset, him ghosting me, and I had just gotten fed up and I broke up with him. Not long after that, a friend that I had for 4 years, strictly platonically, our feelings had blossomed once he told me that him and his wife had separated and that they had filed for divorce. We took that next step in our relationship. And for the last 2 months, it was everything you would want in a relationship: consistency, affection, support, just speaking life into each other, intentionality, flying in and out of cities. It was exciting, just everything. And we had such a deep trust and emotional connection for previously being friends for 4 years. So we knew a lot about each other until last night. He tells me that his wife, that he is separated from and still filing for a divorce even after they found out that she's in her second trimester of being pregnant. So that means that he's known for the last 2 months and intentionally kept it away from me because he thought that I would leave him, until finally he did confess it to me because he couldn't hold it in anymore. And he reassured me that he still wants to be with me and I'm still his soulmate and that he loves me. He still sees a future with us and that this doesn't stop anything and they still want to go through the divorce. Apparently, he even told the wife about me as well. And I'm just wondering if I should even consider being with this man. Even if I did, how would I be with this man bringing in a baby into this world with his wife, ex-wife, and she couldn't conceive for those 10 years that they had been together. And I'm just hurt by the betrayal because he was my friend first and he lied to me. He kept that from me. I felt like he took away my ability to choose, because had he told me that at the beginning of us deciding to take that next step, I probably would have stepped away and let him figure that out without me clouding or me being involved in that scenario. I'm just a little heartbroken, disappointed, and I don't even know what I should do.
First of all, remember you, and I remember them oxtails. Okay, remember them oxtails on that stove. Okay, they were very clean, and I could taste them through the screen. But I also remember, Miss Thing, that the boyfriend at the time had an issue with this friend. The boyfriend at the time had an issue with this friend, and then you broke up with the boyfriend and got with the friend that he found in question. Let me tell you what happens when you start flapping around in life, right? And I hate to say it, but that's what you get. Okay, because you knew it was something going on with this guy. Not only he was still, if you notice, she said soon to be ex-wife. When we were talking about this on the live, he was still married. And I said that I have seen this trope so many times where women will have this friend that's close, just close enough, a guy that's in their life. And maybe he has flirted every now and again, but he's just a good friend, right? And then as soon as things start getting murky, you're the first person that he makes a move on because he is comfortable with you. He knows you. He's close. But I'm going to tell you that it never, ever works out. And that's exactly what I said to you on the live, that these men that are just helicoptering right around you and they're just orbiting around and they're just close enough, and then as soon as you crack in their relationship, they're like, oh my God, I've always wanted to be with you. You've always been an apple of my eye. I'm telling you, I don't know nobody that walked down the aisle with that kind of story. It never works, because then they finally get to pounce on you. They finally get their hands on you. And then the whole high of it is gone. And then they realize that the whole like dopamine hit of getting this girl that was right next to you, like it just never, ever, ever works. And you know, we had an issue with him still being married, but I told you on the live that you were flapping around, that you just were like out here doing anything, you know, and you did talk about like some self-esteem issues, some things that were going on with you. My thing is that the child and him knowing about the child, that's just a whole nother ball game. I know that emotions are involved.
Yeah.
You're a married woman, Brie. What do you
Well,
think?
I was gonna say
Before I lay it on
I
her.
feel like she answered it herself. She literally said if he had told me about it when he knew and was hiding it and gave me the choice to choose if this is something I want to deal with or not, I would have stepped away. But the thing is baby, you still have a choice. Like he told you, it doesn't matter if it was 2 months or today, you still have a choice to either deal with that or not. And if you said 2 months ago, your answer would have been, nope, you need to go deal with that. Why is that still not your answer? Why is this a question?
But do you know
Let
how
that
many
man
times
go
I've
deal with
heard that?
his. Yeah.
You should have given me the choice, and they still stay.
It's
They
like,
still
this
stay.
is
It's
the
like
choice. It's the choice
Yeah.
right now.
I
Say
always
no.
say a head thought and a heart thought are two
Yeah.
different things.
Yep.
And like the head thought is, why would you take my choice away from me? Why wouldn't you just be transparent and tell me, like, we could have moved forward with this? And then it's a heart thought, like, all things given, you still are in love with this person. You still like them. You still want to be with them. He's still telling you you're his dream girl. You're the love of his life and all that kind of stuff. And I just think it's real sticky. And we don't talk a lot about how sometimes you're in such a rut, in like a desperate place, that you'll take garbage wrapped in a box. You get what I'm saying? And that's what that was. That was really kind of leftovers wrapped in a box because it was close to you. You knew this guy already, but you knew that man was married, getting into a divorce, and now he got a whole baby. And I really think it's a self check, right? You got to make sure that you're doing things out of pure intentions, right? And to me, it's almost like a cousin of karma coming back around, because you weren't in the right kind of place when you did that. And a lot of times this happens when women are dating a guy who was cheating on the woman, and now you the other lady, and then they come and be with you, and you think it's not going to happen to you. You think you're the exception. It's like this was already sticky, and now you're stuck. It was a sticky situation, and now you got the glue from it all over. You ever tried to take that airport sticker, that when you get that bag on your luggage, that little tag on there, you ever try to get that sticker off your luggage, and you got to get Gooby gone to get it off? That's what happens when you deal with sticky situations. You scraping and you trying to get it's still on you, right? And I think that this was sticky, and it landed you in a sticky situation. I really think that there's like an evolution and maturity that you have to do for a woman. You can't, as a woman, you can't just take anything. And I think that you should have used a little better discernment in this and really think about, there's another woman at hand, at play in this, right? And we don't know
Did she say that she couldn't conceive for 10 years? So they have not just a past marriage, they have a long past relationship. Something where
Absolutely.
when you share having and making a human with somebody, that is an experience that you don't experience with a lot of people, right?
Yes.
So there's going to be a part of him that is gonna want to make it work with this woman. You spent how many years with her, and y'all were trying and trying and trying, and now you parted ways, and here's the baby, and you think his priority is gonna be you?
But also, too, that is so spot on. But I think also there's a social responsibility. As women, sometimes you got to bow out of things, and we do not bow out enough. You got a woman who was married to this man. They are in the process of a divorce. She's tried to get pregnant for 10 years, and now she is pregnant, and this man over here playing house with you. I would have bowed out of that. I'll take your ass back to your family and figure that out, because woman to woman, I cannot imagine. And not just that, I would be like, wow, maybe it's y'all turn. Maybe it's finally time. Maybe we were just playing around and this wasn't right. And this is where you're supposed to be. Like God ordained marriage. Y'all have to stop playing with people marriages. I do not mess around. You have to stop playing with people marriages. And that woman is pregnant, and he talking about you my dream girl. You wouldn't, it's certain things that a man do that'll make you like look at them different and really lose respect for them. And I know that it can get sticky because you already had a relationship with him, but don't you think you would be like, that woman is pregnant?
Yeah.
And you over here with me, you're not even in the house with her. You're not nurturing her. You're not helping her. And that's your child, and you're still married to her. It's something like you couldn't kiki with me after that.
If he's doing that to her, he would do that to you. I always say, like, the way that a man moves, his past history and what he's done, don't think he won't do that to you. Don't think that you are the exception. So, yeah. And then it's like, for me, I live by it. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And it's like, if the love and the relationship with this man was what it was supposed to be, like if this was your husband, the moment he told you about the baby thing, you wouldn't even be questioning it. You would be like, this sucks, but this is the person I love. This is who I'm called to be with. Like, we're going to figure it out. The fact that you're writing in to ask means, baby, it's a no. Let that go.
Yeah.
Let that go.
She has some evolving and just a good, check yourself. And it happens to women so much. Like, there are so many phases and things, and whether it's in friendship, love, work, that you just have to check yourself and make sure that you're coming from like a solid place. You know what I'm saying? This is one thing I think is one of my greatest strengths. I'm able to step back and be like, now what, like, was that right? Like, did you really handle this with care? Did you move out of love? Did you move out of confidence? And I feel like you were flapping around when you were on the live, and you flapping around now. And now this is just a byproduct of it ain't right. Like, if you ever needed a sign that this was not the right move for you, this is it. This woman is now with child after 10 years of trying. Let that woman have that baby, and let her have that man. And I would have wanted that man to say, hey, I know we started something, and I truly enjoy you, and I love you, and I care about you, but this is like my godly duty and my obligation to my now wife to figure this out. I know it's terrible. I know it's wrong, but I gotta go. I would have really respected him if he's like, I'm not dragging you through this. I'm not dragging you through this, but he's greedy.
Yeah.
Just like he was
He's like,
greedy.
I want both. I'll take both, please. Thank you.
Don't worry about the kid that's coming. You steal my dream. No.
Yeah, what?
I would have. Sometimes people got to bow out, and so girl, bow out
Gracefully.
and let that woman
Yeah.
enjoy her pregnancy and whatever they got going on over there. Anyways, God bless you. God bless you, girl.
And that baby.
This what you get. This what happened when you play around. Okay, it's not a joke.
It's the flapping around for me.
That's what happens. You know. Anywho, our third voicemail is, you cheated and that's your apology?
Dear Tisia, how do you feel about the apology to something disrespectful not being as grand as you would like it to be? I'm in a situation where I've been in my relationship for quite some time, and I found out a few years back that he cheated. Now I'm in a situation where I'm willing to work on things, but the apology was not what I wanted it to be. It's not as grand. There were no flowers, there was no date, there was no constant I want to work on this. It was just, I apologize and this will not happen anymore. All I can do is show you through my actions. I personally feel like the apology should be grand when you do something so disrespectful in a relationship. So what would you do, or what should I do moving forward? And keep in mind, we've been together for quite some time. This situation happened in 2022. It's now 2025. I think he feels like in his mind it was in the past, but I'm just now finding out about it.
I'm the wrong person to ask, because I'm gonna tell you this. Make up with me how you messed up with me. If you was out here laying around with other women, blah 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 blah, the makeup needs to be as big as the mess up. I will drag your ass. I will drag you. I really have a like forgiveness thing. I'm the wrong person. Look, this is a little toxic. I'm the wrong person. I will drag your ass. It needs to be so big before I'm like, it softens the blow. I'm not an easy person that forgives. And I think when I'm angry, you'll hear loud and I'll be clicking. But when you hurt me, I'll completely shut down. And so the makeup is very, very, very important to me. And I ain't mad at it. I think what I will say is that sometimes people are still processing. Like, he probably like, damn, I got caught with this shit three years later. And he's probably still processing what needs to happen in order for you to feel like, you know, this is a true apology. I think that I'm sorry is not enough, but I think that you have to. He said that he's going to show it through his actions. I wonder if he has started to see that through his actions. Also, applying appropriate consequences as well. Like, did you just you said your long-term partner, was he back in that bed after you found out? Did you switch up? You can teach people how to apologize to you, right? You gonna have to come find me and be outside my house, okay, slinging it around with a boombox, all right? Like, what kind of consequences did you have for him? Like, was it a access that was denied? Was it just emotional things that you just kind of started to withdraw? Did you have time, like, you know, saying like, okay, we can talk about this at this moment? Like, what was your actual call to action when you found out that this person has betrayed you? And it really, you know, people skip over counseling and things like that, but a lot of people need a mediator to be able to get through things. And if you say a long-term partner, you know, and I got questions about that, but, you know, long-term partner, sometimes you need mediation to really figure out. Some people's apology language is just not the same, but they genuinely are sorry.
Yeah.
They genuinely are sorry. So you have thoughts on this?
Oh yeah, I got thoughts on this. So, you know, the first thing I thought about was like the grand gesture of like flowers, gifts, whatever. It's like, baby, anybody can buy you flowers. Anybody can get you a gift.
Yeah.
Him doing that one momentary thing does not fix y'all moving forward, because it may have happened 3 years ago, but there's a reason why it happened. Y'all should be getting down to the bottom of why it happened. And then how are we actually making sure it's not going to happen again? Because it may have happened and had something to do with her. And not saying that she did anything wrong or deserves that, but there could have been something that now she can be aware of, and that they both can talk about and communicate to get on the other side of it. But what he said of like, I'm going to show you through my actions, I think that that is way more valuable than some balloons, teddy bears, flowers, some shit that is here today, gone tomorrow. How is he going to continue to show up for you in the rest of your lifetime? So if this happened 3 years ago, like Tisia said, getting a mediator, someone that can talk about what really happened. Because what really happened wasn't just him having sex with somebody, or I don't know if it was physical or emotional cheating, but what he did was he was led astray so much so from you to go and give that part of him to somebody else. Why? So if he's like, hey, I'm sorry that I did that. Here's what I've done since that has happened to make sure that I've worked on myself. The reason why I didn't share, because that's another thing. I'm like, I need context. How did you find out? Did he tell you?
I know.
Did he get caught? Like, how did you actually find out? Because then that has a lot to do with his character. So he's just been walking around here acting normal for 3 years. And you had no clue, no inkling, because that's another issue, because then that means he's able to hide and not give his full self to you in a way to where here you are 3 years later with a bomb dropped on you. So I kind of agree with him in a sense of, I am sorry, you know, I apologize, and I'm going to show you with my actions that it's not going to happen again. That to me is more valuable. But I do think as a woman, you need to share how you need him to apologize. So I'm not a fan of women thinking men can read their mind. I'm not a fan of women thinking that if I act this way, he'll know to do. Use your words and use that energy, right? Like the same way where you're like, you don't have to be outside with a boombox in the rain. Why? Right? Like, why? Why is he going to be that? How are you acting and how are you talking? How are you moving for him to do that? So I think that that's another thing, is like, you need to let him know, like, hey, this is how this affected me and this is what I'm going to need for me to be good. And if that means flowers, balloons, teddies, singing in the rain, cool. But it also needs to be all the other stuff. It needs to be the day-to-day action, because you don't forget about that overnight. You don't forget about that over a year. If it happened 3 years ago, she's probably going to be thinking about it for the next 3 years. So I feel like it's a combination. Tell him what you need, but at the same time, he got to put in the action. That should be the right answer, that I'm going to show you with my daily actions. That is commitment.
So you know what I think is interesting is that I think to everything you just said, okay, everything that you just said, but I think that so we're talking about like flowers and romantic things and balloons and all of that, like grand things that she would want him to do.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about the like, hey, are you actually a stand-up guy? Are you actually going to put in the work that's a lifelong investment to reestablishing the trust from the betrayal that we have now in our relationship? If both of those things were together, I feel like when a woman is like, I'm assuming that this is like he had cheated. He cheated in the past, right? That romance like lets you know that you're still invested in you and I as a woman. So it's like, yes, you are sorry, you're gonna show me with your actions, but you was just fucking rolling around with Keisha and I found out about it. So now make me know that I'm your main woman and that you are now invested in that. And that's where the teddy bears and flowers come into play. I just don't understand why a man would think that he can get caught in cheating and not do romantic things. And it's not to say that those things are standalone and that there's no work, but it can't be an apology if you didn't show up with something. Like,
you know, the other
how
thing
do
I
you
was
say
thinking,
sorry? Take me to dinner, buy me something, take me on a trip, let's do a vacation, something. Like, how you show up with nothing, talking about I'm sorry?
What about the fact that now that she knows that he cheated, as a man, don't you now then you're in the other boat, and wouldn't you be a little insecure thinking that, well, maybe she gonna step out or do something because you did too? So it's also like this other energy, this other level of like, oh, let me
mark
show
your
up.
territory.
Yeah, let me show up.
Let me make sure that the house is kept. So like you said, my woman isn't out wandering around. Maybe she gonna have somebody in her ear. Maybe she gonna, just honestly, just like she's not locked into the relationship anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just can't see any grown man in a long-term partnership with a woman, and she found out you cheated, and you just like, babe, I'm sorry. It's gonna get better. I promise you, you're gonna see a change out of me. Nah, buddy.
We're
You
gonna need
gonna
a
have
little bit of both.
you gonna yeah, we're gonna need a little bit of both. Like, you
A lot of
need
bit of
that.
both.
Yeah, you need that other part where it's just like, maybe you planned a movie date in or something. I feel you, friend. I
Yeah.
feel you. I'm with you when you right, okay? And then I would need some gifts and some love and some additional whatever too, because I'm sorry isn't enough. And when it comes to like infidelity, you still want to be like, do you still like me? Are you still attracted to me? Are you still, here with me? And so yeah, girl, I feel you. I feel you. What was the last part of her question? Did she say, so what would we do? What would we do?
Yeah.
I think, Bree, you're right that, like, communicating to him, like, what is it gonna take for you to be in a better place. I think that so many couples just do not know how to navigate conflict, and
Yeah.
I think it will be healthy to go to couples counseling.
Especially because, like I said, the woman is going to be affected in a way where you might be out at a bar one night and the right man looking the right way, saying the right things comes up to you. And because this thing has happened, now your psyche of how you even picture and think of and respect your man is different because now you have this information you didn't have before. So it's not just for his sake, it's also for your sake.
Yeah. And I always use this analogy. Every time you go somewhere, when you and I sat down, we sat in this chair, we never thought about if the chair was going to break.
Right.
Never thought. We sat down, we have full trust in this chair. The moment I go to a cookout, a show, a barbecue, anything, and I sit in that chair and that thing fold and break and I fall on that floor, I'm gonna for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be like, hold on, let me look. Is it okay? Can you hold all this weight? Can I sit? That is how it works when you break that kind of trust in a relationship. The person is gonna be thinking, to your point, not just about like, well, now I know my man cheated on me and I'm out and this other guy's trying to talk to me. It may change my mindset. But now I also know that, like, was it you that he was cheating with? Was it you? Was it like, now you're going to be looking at girls different. You're going to be like, what was your type? What was it? Why did you do that?
So many things.
So many things. You're always going to be like, is this chair going to break? Like, is it? So it's just a mental mind fuck that men have to, like, you have to be invested in that type of debt when you make that type of mistake. And the craziest thing is that some relationships cannot handle the withdrawal of the, like, you didn't make enough deposits and it cannot handle that kind of withdrawal. And I always say that when people are like, oh, my husband cheated, should I stay? What kind of deposits that man made?
Right.
Did you have a happy 15? Because if I have a happy 15-year marriage and my husband step, baby, I can't say I'm going nowhere, because the relationship can withhold the withdrawal that the cheater made. Some of y'all be with these men and it was a raggedy relationship and then he go cheat and you definitely ain't got it's in the negative. You definitely ain't got no money enough to withhold that kind of withdrawal. And so it sounds like they may have had a decent relationship, but I wonder if it can actually hold that type of, betrayal. Because I feel like you're going to be walking around this whole time thinking about the chair going to break.
Yeah. And that's natural,
The one time that chair break, you're going to be distrust. There's going to be so much distrust around any chair that you ever sit in. So that's just that. And I think man, you got to watch what you do, because you don't know how long you're going to be in debt with that type of mistake. You don't know how long you're going to be in debt, and you cannot change how quickly somebody forgives you and what their forgiveness journey looks like. So you gotta tread lightly. Hopefully she, is a Christian woman that believes look her the other cheek and, forgive. Okay. Anywho, yeah, but make up with me how you messed up with me.
I know, it's all right.
Baby, make it. I will drag you. I'll never forget it, baby. You gotta show up. Okay. My apology. It's hard to apologize to me, baby. It better be good. Okay. My favorite segment, the bitch you smell good segment. So Brie and I are now fragrance friends, and so we've exchanged some fragrances in the past. I actually think you'll really like this one.
Okay.
But this is Bond number 9. This is Madison Ave. This is a classic. If you are like a floral girl. The top notes are apple, bergamot, and black currant. And then we have rose, jasmine, and magnolia essence. And then the base notes are patchouli, ambroxan, and praline. I feel like it's like sweet, spicy, you know.
Mm.
Don't rub your wrists
No,
together.
sweet and spice definitely hits it on the head. It smells like money. It's like comforting.
This is like Kentucky Derby. Like I want to say this like girly day party, but it's like a step up. It's giving like rich husband, you're out at a picnic and you're just like at his on his boat, like it's just giving like floral rich girl activities, right? Because there are deeper notes in here. Like if you're not a magnolia girl, but even like patchouli, bergamot, y'all know how I feel about bergamot and pink pepper, okay?
I didn't even know these things existed.
It's deep, but it's girly. There's so many floral scents in here. So, anyways, this is a classic. If you have never had Bond Number 9 Madison Ave, they have just so many fragrances. But this is a classic. And it's also in a cute pink bottle. But I have probably like maybe like
You should wear this to the boat.
yeah, and it's
It's a
gonna be
good.
at nighttime. It's gonna be at nighttime too. Also, we're filming in the day. I'm not sure if y'all noticed that. May see a little switch up in the lighting, but we're filming in the daytime. Usually I'm filming at night, but this is a daytime filming. Cause I got things to do later. I love it. I know y'all probably gonna buy it, so I love all the fragrances that I bought with my own money, but this is a really, really good one. Um, and it's like girly grown girly. So anywho, now we're on to our segment of our red flag report. Okay. I'm reading these right. Okay. Emotional affairs and public drama. A new preview. Oh my gosh. God bless them. A new preview from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has fans buzzing after Yandy Smith admitted to having an emotional connection with someone outside of her marriage to Mendices. The clip shared by the show's official Instagram on Tuesday, August 12th, captures Yandy reflecting on a once close friendship that took a messy turn and ended up online. Describing the man as the closest thing she's had to a brother, Yandy explains they fell out over a disagreement about her marriage. I felt he was too involved in the things that were happening, she said. The friend reportedly, NYC hairstylist Brian Jamison, according to Onsite, later blasted her on social media, accusing her of cheating. The man alleged to be at the center of her emotional connection is Michael Aduse. Sounds Nigerian. Though Yandy didn't name him directly in the episode. In a confessional moment, Yandy says that if her marriage ever falls apart, it will be because we tore it down brick by brick. The scene then cuts to a sit down between Yandy and Mendices where he confronts her about the situation. He expresses how deeply it affected him, and he even suggests that the emotional affair is worse than the physical one. Looking visibly hurt, Mendici tells her, "Do the right thing. The ring won't come off." Yandy later confirms, "I've definitely had an emotional connection with someone other than Mendices, and we had to deal with it."
Mm.
Okay, y'all. I am a reality TV stan. I watch it all. Love After Lockup, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, Love Island, everything. 90 Day Fiance, baby. Put a ring on it. Ready to Love, baby. I watch it all. I watch it all. But let me tell you this. Of course, I'm watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I saw this coming. And it's unfortunate. I saw this coming. First of all, Yandy, I actually like you a lot. Hey, it's a lot of other people talking about you. I'm sure you won't mind. Okay, let me say this. What I have observed from the clips on social media, on on Love and Hip Hop, what I have observed, there was, I think it was a season or two ago, where they had really started to kind of crumble, and I think Mendices was taking his ring off. Yandy had decided to run for like a political position, like fucking alderman or congresswoman or some shit. And her husband found out when everybody else found out. And I said, oh, bitch, you in trouble. You in trouble. I smelled all of this happen. And my observation, okay, Yandy has lacked respect for Mendices for so fucking long. And I'm gonna tell you this: when a man feels like you do not respect him, wrap it up. Pack your shit up, baby, and wrap it up. It is a man wants respect more than he wants anything. And I have seen on so many occasions on this show how Yandy has lacked to include her husband, how she has moved like a boss woman without this man he just there so he don't get fined. He just he up in the peanut gallery. He just there watching the show, chiming in from time to time. She has made so many moves without this man's input. Okay. And so I ain't half surprised. I smelled this coming.
Yeah.
I smelled this coming. And I think it has been, Mendices has been trying to like put his foot in for now. We all know that Mendices been caught up in some stuff. And, people said he was talking to this girl. He was at the bar doing this. Now all these women are coming out. And I honestly, I pray for them. I pray that they find reparation. Reparation? Is that what I'm looking for? In this, okay, that it is repaired. All right, that I pray that this is repaired. When other people start getting in business, and I think it's interesting because she said that the friend was too involved, and a part of it is like keep people out of your marriage and seek counsel in your marriage between you and God. Okay, keep people out of your marriage, yes, but them friends be seeing stuff before you see stuff. Okay. And so if the last argument that you had was with your friend about your marriage, I'm not saying that this person was right, but you got to put a pin in that. You gotta put a pin in that. And so,
especially if it's a good friend, because they're gonna tell you the truth, and it might not sound good. Yes, it might not be nice.
I'm not surprised that Yandy has had an emotional connection with somebody outside of her marriage, because the whole world has seen that it just didn't quite seem like her husband was her right hand. To think about running for a political party, like I'm gonna be, and your husband is finding out with the rest. That was like one of the first time I was like, oh yeah,
that's major disconnection.
Yeah, it's a disconnect. Something ain't quite right. And also though, we all know that Mendices got out of jail, and she asked him, would you have done that for me? Because Yandy waited while Mendices was in jail for years. I think it was maybe 4 to 5 years that man was in jail. Don't quote me, okay? 4 or 5 years that man was in jail. And when he got out, they were filming, they were on the show, and she said, would you have done this for me? That nigga said, I don't know.
Wow.
So, some shaky on both ends or whatever, but I'm not surprised. I think it's been a lot of red flags. There's been a lot of smoke leading to fire in that relationship. And as soon as you start getting other people involved, it's just not right. And I do think that emotional cheating is worse than,
I do too, actually,
physical cheating. Yeah.
Because that takes intentional thought and time after time, every conversation, every text message, every phone call, every time spent. A physical thing is like, it could be an in the moment thing, happen once, or, it's like you get caught up in it. But emotional, it's like you are really going out of your way to build and pour into this other relationship, knowing what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm praying for y'all, Yandy and Mendices. And you know what? I think it's also just a testament to like how she the control. I think Yandy is just naturally a boss, and she's just very diligent with all the things that she does, just like you. Like you do all things well. Like the things that you invest in, you do well. And I think Yandy, she just started a restaurant, a clothing line, a skincare line, all type of different things that she does. Just a jack of all trades. And I feel like she's just diligent with a lot of things. But it's funny how even in the demise of her marriage. She's like, if anybody gonna tear it down, it's gonna be me and him. Like, she even want to control how it
ends.
Yeah, the downfall of it.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful because you don't watch this stuff, but the girl was sitting in front of him. Was it Nick Cannon baby mama, Jessica Rabbit? Is that not Jessica White? Jessica White, whatever. Anyways, she was trying to tell her that Mendices was out playing around, and she said, "Oh, baby, dry your tears. I know who that girl was. That was me messaging him." Yandy, it looked like it was some other people. Okay. Anyways, there's that.
The watch now.
But God bless Yandy and Medici. I really truly pray that they, really, really figure that out and really do a deep dive in their marriage. But you gotta your husband has to feel respected.
Yes.
You can't be running over him. Like, this is your show and he living in it. Anyways, God bless them.
Bless it.
There's that. All right.